What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Tuesday, February 8th. Now, this is actually the second time making this video. The first one didn't have any sound, so if you watched the very first video, first off, I'm sorry because there was absolutely no sound. So let's get to the update, because right now more states are going to be offering stimulus, and I said this months ago. I told you guys, just wait. We have to be patient because states are trying to figure out their budgets. Once they figure out their budgets, then they will be able to move forward with certain stimulus and provide that to their residents. The good news is they will be providing that. I got a little bit of a stimulus package update for you as well. We're going to talk about the Electoral Count Act and also want to address some Social Security problems as well. So first off, hopefully you guys had a wonderful Monday, but let's get into the update for Tuesday. So yesterday, House Democrats, they introduced new legislation to keep the government funded, at least until March 11th. Now, this is a very good thing that we are coming up on this, because we only have 10 days. On February 18th, that is when the government funding bill expires. So they have to figure out a way to fund the government. Now, giving the government funding for 1 month, the only reason, the purpose behind this isn't to just, to keep the government from closing, shutting down, but really the reason why is to give negotiators 1 more month, really set a deadline. Because over the past few months, negotiators were more focused on other things. One of those things, the Build Back Better Act. But now that's been pushed to the back. We are now focused, according to reports, on the government funding bill, and they want to try to agree on a bipartisan deal for the budget for fiscal year 2022. So they have 1 more month to do so. If the House passes this bill, which is expected to happen today, and gets kicked over to the Senate, and the Senate passes it as well. So that's what we're hearing as of this morning. Now, here's the reason why all this stuff is moving so slow. It's because many Democrats are attempting to pretty much sell Republicans on the idea of a $1.5 trillion appropriations package that would essentially put new spending into healthcare and transportation, science, and even defense. But again, many of these were President Biden's agenda items. And so that's where Republicans are having issues. And this is what we've seen over the past couple of months as well, is Democrats are trying to put different pieces of the Build Back Better Act into certain other bills. And that's creating a lot of issues, because some moderates don't want to see that, and Republicans absolutely do not want to see a piece of the Build Back Better Act shoved into a different bill and trying to just ram it down their throat. That's not what they want to see. So that's creating a lot of issues. But going forward, this is going to be the case. We're going to see Democrats try to push certain pieces of the Build Back Better Act into the different bills. Whether this is a good thing for the American people or not, they're still going to try to push it through. And what we're hearing right now, according to reports, is until the Build Back Better Act is passed, Republicans better expect this. They need to understand this is going to continue to happen. It's either this, or if key Democrats or Biden himself comes out and says, you know what, let's just scrap that. We can't do that. And right now, Senator Joe Manchin isn't considered a key Democrat. He's just considered an opposition to it. So it's interesting the way we're moving forward, but that is what we know. Right now, President Biden's plans on trying to push the Build Back Better Act, trying to get more support for it. Well, some Democrats have been saying privately that they are the ones that are pushing Biden's agenda, not him. So the plan as of right now is President Biden is expected to start going out and pushing, drumming up some support for his own agenda, because it hasn't been much on him. It's been all on lawmakers, and they are saying that they need some help. So as of right now, we're going to see what President Biden is expected to do, but that is what is being talked about, is he will be the one going out and trying to drum up some more support. Now, I know a lot of people are wanting to know, what states are sending out more stimulus? Well, here's what I can tell you. Many states have already talked about, passed legislation for additional stimulus. I've addressed this over the past probably week or so. Now, I want to address what new states are going to be sending out stimulus and when we could potentially see this. The first one is California. California and Governor Gavin Newsom are expected to announce another $1,100 stimulus check for their residents in the new budget. Now, this is why this is so important. California has a surplus of cash. And being that they have a surplus of cash, their law requires them to send money back to their residents. So it's expected to be about $1,100 right now. One thing I can say is California is not the only state. New York is planning to actually provide undocumented workers who didn't get any relief over the past 2 years from federal stimulus. They will get a stimulus check as well. Now, we do not know exactly how much this is going to be. We don't know exactly when you will receive it, but it should be coming very soon. And they say anybody that earned less than $26,000 in 2020 will be qualified to receive these payments. In Indiana, residents are all going to receive a $125 tax refund that can be claimed once you file your 2021 tax return. So you have to file taxes in order to receive this $125 tax refund. That should be coming, again, when you file your taxes. So we have an idea of when that's going to be, but you got to file your taxes. So a little bit of an issue there if you are a very low income earner and you don't plan on filing taxes. Well, that's going to create an issue. You will not get the $125 tax refund. As far as Florida, here's what I can tell you. Many people say Florida doesn't send anything. They never get any money. Nobody cares in Florida. Well, here's what we are being told. In Florida, they are likely to send out another $1,000 bonus to teachers. Now, the reason for this, some are saying, that they're really going to take care of our teachers. Well, yes and no. They're taking care of teachers because by taking care of teachers, it takes care of the children. Taking care of the children means the parents can go to work. So instead of sending more money to parents to go to work, Florida decided, well, why don't we just send money to the teachers? Because by doing that, it will cost less. We will give the parents the ability to drop their kids off at school. They can go to work, the children can get an education, and everybody wins. So I thought that was very interesting, that instead of giving money to parents and saying, here's $1,000, and it costs an excessive amount of money. Now, even though that would help parents, yes, and it would be an immediate benefit to the state and the parents and their bank accounts. The other issue is, well, it could cost too much money. And so Florida found a workaround, and they're going to give money to teachers. So I thought this was very interesting, but let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section below as well. But again, I thought this was a pretty good idea. That this is a cheaper way to provide almost the same benefit in the long run. In the short run, it's going to hurt individuals that don't get a $1,000 check, but we'll see. Florida has also done this. This is, I think, the second or third time they've offered teachers this bonus. But not only is it a bonus, but it's more of a retention payment as well. They just want to hold on to the teachers, which I obviously see why, because teachers are being pretty much called by so many different companies because of what they can offer. So it's very interesting. Now, even though states are sending out additional payments in some cases, they're trying to help really benefit their residents. But this doesn't mean that this is what the federal lawmakers are trying to do as well. Because as of right now, there's no stimulus checks being discussed on the federal level. There's no payments for people on Social Security. There's no payments or even paying off student debt. Not there. No child tax credit payments. As of right now, lawmakers they're trying to come to an agreement on the government budget. That's the key, which currently the House plans on passing a continuing resolution sometime by the end of this week. But because they go on recess next week, just keep that in mind. But the expectation is the vote's going to happen today and it will pass. The next priority, though, is the Electoral Count Act. Now, as of right now, there's bipartisan support to make changes. But some want to see some extreme changes. Some are drawing their red lines. This bill, it currently has bipartisan support to offer some protection and more transparency of campaign finance contributions. That's what we're hearing at this time. Now again, the red lines are being drawn as we speak. This bill is likely going to follow up the government funding bill in the coming weeks. Now, again, the key is the government funding bill has to go first. Again, we got 10 days. 10 days to get this done. Then, the Electoral Count Act should be the second bill. The Build Back Better Act at this time, it could be the third, but chances are it's going to be pushed back to the fourth because the next thing that the Senate wants to do is focus on the Supreme Court. Okay? So, the Build Back Better Act again keeps getting pushed further and further back. I don't know if this is the plan, but this is currently what's happening. Now, let's address Social Security for a moment. Because many lawmakers have said that over the past year, people on a fixed income, those are the ones that are getting hurt the most. These are the ones that are getting financially wrecked due to high inflation, the cost of living adjustment, the cost of rent, obviously food, their health care. Everything is going up. And the small cost of living adjustment just wasn't enough. But here's what some people are saying. It's going to be very difficult to pass an increase to the cost of living adjustment or just push Social Security benefits up 2%. Here's why. At the same time that the cost of living adjustment raise came in, guess what we didn't get? There was no additional tax increase. There's actually less people now paying into Social Security than before. The amount of people that were paying into Social Security actually dropped because a lot of them are new retirees. Some just aren't working, right? Some actually saw a decrease in hours worked, so they get less money. Yes, people are making more money per hour, but some are working less hours. So it's a little bit of an issue. Now, lawmakers are saying that the average retiree spends about 30% of their Social Security income on healthcare alone. Honestly, I think this is excessive. I would hate to spend 30% of my income on healthcare alone. They say that the average person who gets traditional Medicare, they end up paying about $6,168 per year to cover just their insurance premiums and their medical services. But I'm just curious, how do you stack up against these people? And here's the reason why I asked this, and you can answer down in the comment section below. Either I pay more than the average person or I pay less than the average person. Here's the reason why this is such a ridiculous standard. The way lawmakers look at this is, oh, people are paying more than average, well, they're probably being hurt. Oh, but if you're making less, you're paying less than average, you're probably doing pretty well. But what if less than average? Average is $6,100, $6,168 per year. What if you pay $6,000? That's still an insane amount of money per year, in my opinion. But let's say you pay $6,000. Lawmakers will be like, oh, that's pretty good. You're paying less than average. But that's what's so frustrating, so messed up is how can somebody think that, oh, paying a little bit less than average is a good thing? No, paying $6,000 a year is still an excessive amount of money. Especially if that's 30%, that means someone's making about $20,000 per year and they're paying $6,000 just to cover their health insurance, their premiums and their Medicare services, medical services. That's, to me, I think that's a major issue. So that's currently what's being discussed. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen with this. This is just a big issue because lawmakers are saying we can't increase something without increasing taxes. But President Biden says, no, we can't increase taxes on people making less than $400,000 per year. And again, it all goes back to that promise. That's the one promise at this point he has kept, is nobody making less than $400,000 per year sees a penny more in taxes. Now, effectively, everybody in the entire country is paying more. Actually, in the entire world, everybody's seeing inflation. Everybody's paying more across the world. So that's technically not a promise he's kept because people are spending more of their money. The only difference is it's technically not taxes. So that's what we're hearing at this time. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.